Hey there, church. Yesterday we began talking about the life of Peter and his close relationship that he had with Jesus. We ended yesterday by talking about what happens when we see Jesus for who he truly is. Today, I want to look at what happens when we begin to see Jesus for less than who he is. We know that Jesus knows our hearts. Several times in the Bible, it claims that Jesus answered people's hearts, meaning that we don't have to say a word for Jesus to know how we're feeling. So when we look at Jesus' disciples, we can wonder, of all of the 12, why did he choose Peter, James, and John to be in his intimate circle? There's likely a lot of good reasons why. One of them being, he knew their hearts and he knew their intentions. Peter made plenty of mistakes in his life, yet God continued inviting him into intimacy because our intimacy with God is not depicted by our works, but instead the posture of our hearts. So when it finally comes closer to the time where Jesus was about to endure the cross, he ate a meal at Passover with all of his disciples. In the middle of the meal, Jesus says this, "I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me." I can imagine that all of his disciples' hearts sinking into their chest, looking back and forth, trying to figure out who it was that was planning on betraying him. They all went around the table, each disciple asking, "Is it me, Lord? Is it me, Lord?" And then we get to Judas. He does not ask the same question that the others ask. He said, "Is it me, Rabbi?" And Jesus replied by saying, "You have said it." See, the word that the disciples used was Lord. This comes from the Greek word kurios, which means the person to whom I owe my life, whereas the word rabbi in Greek simply means good teacher. The reason that Judas was the one to betray Jesus is because he did not see him for who he truly was. He did not see Jesus as Lord, and he only saw him as a good teacher. This is what happens when we refuse to see Jesus for who he truly is. We are not able to enter into complete and total intimacy with the Lord. And that's why Peter was one of Jesus' closest friends and Judas was not. My question to you, who is Jesus to you? Is he your Savior? Is he a good teacher? Or is he truly your Lord? Do you see Jesus as someone to whom you owe your life to? Not just your actions, not just your Sunday mornings, but your entire life. This means the words that you speak, the relationships that you have, the things that you're watching, and the thoughts that you entertain. If he is your Lord, then how does it change the way that you live? Be encouraged by this today, church. If you recognize in your heart that you have missed it in this area, God is eagerly waiting for you to accept the invitation into an intimate relationship with him. Today is the day for you to step into a new level of intimacy with the Lord. I want to invite you to come back tomorrow for the final part of this series about Peter, where we'll be talking about Peter's promise fulfilled.